We'll go ahead. I'm Mayor Tony Gross, and I'm hereby calling to order the April 16th, 2020 meeting of the Kingston Springs Board of Commission. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with Governor Bill Lee's Executive Order 16, this meeting is being conducted with limited physical public access. The meeting is being made available, however, to public participants via the live video stream on the Zoom application. Tonight we have all members participating electronically. John, could you please call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Here.
Tony Gross.
Here.
Mike Hargis.
Here.
Jeff Lorenz.
Here.
Glenn Remick.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. The first item we have is Resolution 20-003, approving the conduct of a meeting of the Town of Kingston Springs Board of Commission by electronic means. You all had a chance to take a look at this. It's in your packet. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, so Mike seconded, and Jeff made the motion. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Tony, we'll need a roll call vote for everyone.
Oh, that's right. John, could you call the roll again? I forgot.
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis.
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. The next item is, sorry. Oh yeah, we need to add one more item. We need to add item 12E to the agenda, resolution 12-004, implementing a policy on compliance with the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. So that's just on there. Do we have a motion to approve the March 19th, 2020 City Commission meeting minutes? Sorry, that first.
As amended.
As amended.
Motion to approve as amended, Glenn.
Okay.
Second, Jeff.
All right. So we have a first and second. John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis.
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right. Let's actually backstep a second there because I jumped over the motion to approve the March 19th, 2020 City Commission meeting minutes. So do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the March 19th minutes. Glenn.
Do we have a second?
Second. Josh.
All right. John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly.
Yes.
Tony Gross.
Yes.
Mike Hargis.
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz.
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. Announcements from commissioners. Glenn, do you have anything?
I do not.
Jeff?
No.
Josh?
No, sir.
Mike?
No, sir.
All right. Community input. Is there any community here that to give input? I don't think there is. Is there?
No, sir.
All right. Then we'll move on to department reports. Do we have anything in department reports?
No, sir. We do not.
All right. Unfinished business. We have none. On to new business. Item A is motion to set the TCRS employer contribution rate certification for the 2020-2021 fiscal year.
Tony, they are recommending 6.8%. Currently, you all are paying 7.29%. And of course, they always ask you all to do a higher amount than what they recommend.
Okay. So you said we're at 7.29, right?
Yes, that's what we're currently paying right now, is 7.29%. And their recommendation to cover is 6.08%. But they would like for you to do a higher rate.
All right. Do we have any discussion on this, guys?
Do we think that 7.29 is the correct amount, the proper amount?
Well, that's what they had recommended. I mean, I think they actually last year, Mike, recommended 6.29, and they always ask you to do more. And so you all had already been paying 7.29, so you just stuck with 7.29.
And now they're saying 6.8.
Now,
Now
Right,
it's
that's what-
6.8, so that
should
would be
we
up to
move-
you all if you want to pay the 6.08, or if you'd like to leave it at 7.29, or if you want to select a different amount.
Well, if we were about 100 basis point or a percentage, 1% above what they recommended last year, why would we, reduce our contribution down to the same 100 basis points more?
So you're recommending 7.08?
Yes, if we were about a point higher than what they recommended last year, then why would we stay at 7.29 if their recommended rate went down to 6.08?
Like I said,
Is that at our discretion?
yes. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
you have to do the minimum employer rate of 6.08. You have to do
Right.
that.
Okay, I'm with you.
You can go up if you would like to. You just cannot go below that.
Sure.
I
Well,
feel
think
we
it's
should maintain,
Yeah.
I think we should, maybe stick with where we are at least.
let's maintain.
Well, why would we go at 7.29 if we were comfortable with 1% above their recommendation last year, and this year the recommendation is less? Am I misunderstanding this?
No, that 7.29%, Mike, is the part that the city pays towards the employees in retirement.
I'm with you. Okay.
We'd be
So that's-
removing a benefit
We would-
from employees.
We would be
okay. Well,
paying employees less.
I didn't understand that. Okay, that helps me. All right. Well,
Thank you
then,
for the clarification.
all right, I agree with Glenn, then we probably ought to stick with 7.29.
What about you, Jeff? You have any, and Josh?
No,
Keep
That
it
makes-
where it's at.
I agree.
All right. All right, do we have a motion?
Motion, but
Yeah.
maintain the same percentage rate. Glenn?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Mike is a second. All right, John, could you call the roll?
Josh Heatherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes, please.
All right, item B is a motion to approve on first reading ordinance 20-002, amending certain portions of the town of Kingston Springs employee work policy. John, you want to?
What changes are there?
Yeah. That's
Those
That is-
changes are covered. Martha Brooke, do you want to discuss?
Sure. If I could jump in there, the changes are on the.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to get to my screen where I can scroll down and see. On the first section, coverage, we have added the last one where we have called the finance director an exempt employee. So that's the only change in that section. All the rest of that stayed the same. Section 2C, we changed that just a little bit to we had some conflicting language about whether or not part-time employees, et cetera, would be eligible, how they would be paid, basically. And so we qualify that when we've got a non-exempt employee that is a part, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong line. For all non-exempt employee positions, when an employee is for a part-time employee, the individual will be paid the equivalent hourly rate for the time actually worked. So that was just actually cleaning up some language in the existing policy. Section 3 there, where we've changed just strictly the heading for section 2D. We just had added the word and salaries on there because the paragraph actually went to explain salaries a little bit more. Section 3H2, we basically have gone in and qualified that regular part-time employees, and this I think is consistent with what we were already doing, but again, cleaning up some conflicting language in there. Regular part-time employees are eligible for vacation and retirement benefits on a prorated basis for their hours. It also clarified, though, that if you have someone part-time that is already drawing retirement benefits, that they would not then be eligible to participate, to continue basically to participate in the accrual of retirement benefits. And I think that's more of a state requirement too. John, that's my understanding of that, correct?
Correct.
And then jumping down to section 3N, we went and added a little bit of language there that would allow John on a case written basis to authorize someone to work from home. And it has to be in writing and it can be ended at any point in time. So that gave the flexibility for not only the finance director position that we anticipate being handled, but should there be any need to arise in the future, that would be in there and allow John some flexibility on that. And then the next section there, the section 4B, again, just kind of cleaning up some of the language with respect to vacation leave, because we had questions. It wasn't spelled out clearly about how part-time regular employees would accrue prorated vacation leave. So we've put that in there and just kind of made a few more definitional changes. Section 4G, that's where we get into the inclement weather policy. We just added a provision in there that says if it's someone who could normally work from home and City Hall is closed, then they would not be, they would have to continue to work from home, basically. They wouldn't get the day off because they would be able to handle their work from the location they're supposed to be working at.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve ordinance 20-002?
I so move that we approve the ordinance.
All right, Mike with the motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Josh.
Josh is the second. All right, any discussion? All right, if there's no discussion, John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. The next item is a motion to reappoint Sarah Hamilton and Jane Polanski to the Kingston Springs Parks and Tree Board. This is also a vote from the commission. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve, Jeff.
Do we have a second?
Mike. Second, Mike.
All right, John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next one is actually my appointment, and it's a reappointment of Anita Van Mel and Carolyn Clark to the Kingston Springs Sign and Construction Appeals Board. I spoke to Anita, and she would like to serve again. Carolyn felt that the position is not very impactful and did not wish to continue to serve. So if anyone knows somebody that would like to serve on that board, send those recommendations my way, and so we can consider that, because there will be an opening there. Item E is Resolution 20-004, compliance with the Families First Act. You've all got this in an email from John, I believe, yesterday or the day before. Martha Brooke, do you have anything to add to this?
Sure. This is more of a belt and suspenders. With the Families First Coronavirus Response Act that was passed by Congress last month, they mandated certain provisions with respect to, for example, the provision of additional 80 hours of paid sick time to full-time employees. That's on top of what they already receive. It had some changes with respect to instances of the Family Emergency Family Medical Leave Act. So basically what I did is I took the provisions of that pertain to emergency family medical leave and the emergency paid sick time and have incorporated that into the standalone resolution. We're not amending the personnel policy, but it's just we're putting something down in place so we have something, should we ever need it for an auditor or anything like that, if this comes into play, have it in writing as to we're complying with what federal law mandates.
Great. All right, do we have a motion to pass Resolution 20-004?
I move we,
Motion.
that we, yeah.
Mike,
Motion, Glenn.
is Glenn, are you the
Motion,
motion?
Glenn.
All right,
Yes.
who's the second? Mike is the second?
Mike's a second.
Mike's the second. Okay. All right, John, or is there any discussion? All right, here none. John, could you call the roll?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. The next item is a surplus item, and it's the walkie-talkies to discard from the Parks Department. Do we have a motion to discard the walkie-talkies?
Motion to discard, Jeff.
Second.
Second, Josh.
All right, John, could you please call the roll?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Jeff Lorenz,
Yes.
Glenn Remick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Under other for discussion, John, you wanted to talk about the budget workshop, I believe?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Debbie's done a wonderful job of putting all the budget information for the 2021 budget together and ready for review and a budget workshop. We'd like to schedule a date, preferably next Thursday, a week from today, if everyone could attend. Thinking 5:30 in the afternoon.
I cannot.
Cannot do next Thursday.
I will not be here Thursday.
What days next week work?
Any day but Thursday.
Okay,
Now, remember, by not be here, none of us have to be here as long as you have a phone.
that's correct.
I
How about
won't have coverage. I won't have coverage.
Okay.
I can't. It won't be possible.
does Wednesday work?
Yes.
That's fine with me. Josh, what about you? Might need later than that, right, Josh?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about 6 o'clock? 5:30 pushes these guys
Okay.
pretty hard to be there in time.
6 o'clock, good?
Yeah, I can do 6.
You want to
Okay.
make it 6 o'clock Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
want-
I can,
Agreed.
I can make that work.
Okay, very good,
gonna-
thank you.
Are you gonna
Okay.
send us some materials, John?
Yes, sir. Debbie will send you out the budget materials, and then I will send you out a meeting invitation, and we'll do this the same way next Wednesday. I'll work. Brandy, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Steve, can you hear us?
I
Okay.
can hear Brandy.
I'll follow up with Chief Ivy to make sure that he's okay on Wednesday, and then I'll send out an invite and information tomorrow, and Debbie will send out the materials.
Yeah, I was gonna say, John, send out that invite as quick as possible so I don't schedule something
Yes.
on time.
I will do that first thing.
Good idea.
So are we good on budget then?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So the last thing is a reminder on social distancing, which I know is probably the only thing we have going on right now. But since we are on this, if we still got Brandy patched in here, can we talk about what the plans are on the park?
I'll be honest with you, the recommendation from all the blogs and stuff that I've been on, like the boards for the park stuff, they're really following the state guidelines where the state parks are closed. So it's up to you guys. I am absolutely think City Park needs to stay closed. Burns, I'm kind of open on. We have put safety fencing around the playground. We're going to have to get a little more to cover some of the picnic tables and such, because you're technically supposed to cover anything that could, draw more than a couple of people at a time. So, but honestly, it seems most of the cities are going with the state parks at this point. I really had hoped Governor Lee would address that today, and he did not. So
What is the date for the state parks? Do they have
it's
one?
indefinite at this point. They have not set a date. I think they're waiting on him to make a decision.
Tuesday, they're discussing. They're issuing further information on Tuesday, Josh. Though on state parks.
I had talked to the TWRA agent yesterday about the fishing rodeo, if we should try to proceed with that, and they were under the impression that something would come down this week, because I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with it, but TWRA and the state parks are kind of disagreeing with each other about what needs to be happening. So, but as I said, today nothing was said. So I don't know. I guess it's up to you guys.
See, my thought on this, and then I'm just going to throw it out there and see if you guys agree with me and what you think, Brandy, is there, because I've run a fair amount, and I've been spending a lot of time on the sidewalks because state parks are closed, other than, Nashville parks are open, so I go run in Nashville too. But our sidewalks are quite full. And I think that if we could open up the walking area on Burns and just, all the walking areas there, if we're in a position to do that sometime next week, that might take some of the heat off of those sidewalks too. Because a lot of the people I see on the sidewalks are the people you normally see at the park. So it'd be,
I agree, as long as, it just doesn't get to be where, they're congregating doing other things. I mean, really, I'm on the fence. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I would like to open up the trail because I know a lot of people walk it, but I also know that if you do that, we're going to have 60 people back in the park on any given day. So
I agree with
It's too soon. It's too soon to. I personally feel it's too soon to open up Burns Park. Maybe another week. Right now, if we put in a green light in, it's just going to flood, and which would be unhealthy for everyone. I understand keeping City Park closed a little longer, but I agree we do need to try to open up the parks as soon as we can. But right now, it's too soon.
Yeah, and I agree with both of you on that. About a week from now, but I went down there before it was closed, and those barriers that we had up around the playground, obviously, I think we're probably going to have to beef those up. I think that's what you said, but
we have done that. We bought hurricane fencing to put around the playground, and we're going to block off the pavilions. But I think we spent John, about $900?
Yes.
To do that. So, and that's just the playground. So, I really am okay opening up city to let people walk, but if it gets taken advantage of, we might have to redirect it. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
You said city, but I think you meant Burns.
You meant Burns.
I meant Burns. I'm sorry. I really think city needs to stay closed until they open everything back up, just because of I know the dog park is a big situation, but you've got to understand there is one gate in and there's one gate out. So if you have 50 people there a day, that's 100 people touching the same gate, and it's metal. So
yeah,
good point.
I just think City Park needs to stay closed, and I really am on the fence about Burns. It's up to you guys.
Well, I'd like I'm kind of in the position where I'd like to see the city, or to see Burns Park as soon as we can get those things closed off, opened, and so, in the nearest future, I guess. I think that blocking those things off are going to actually be kind of a longer term thing than we think too. I don't think that's going to be like May 1, all of a sudden everybody gets to go back and play on the playground. It's just not going to,
Well, and we have taken that in. We took that into consideration when we put up the fencing around the playground. We knew it would be a month or two. But as I said, that's the only thing at this point that we have been able to fence off without, buying a lot more. So
could we not just take the pavilions and just take that fence and just wrap it around the outside of the things by the posts?
We could. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We can do those things. We just, at this point, we just bought the stuff to do the playground.
But I guess I'd like to, my opinion, and you guys can tell me what you think about this. I was part of the unpopular decision to close the park. So, and I've felt a little bit of heat for that, and that's fine. We had to do it, I think. But I think giving the city staff time to really get the park to a place where we think it's safe, Burns Park to a place where we think it's safe, and then, hopefully open it up so people can walk there at least. Maybe play disc golf. I don't know. I mean, disc golf, people touch the baskets and all, but not much.
Well, the only question I would have for Martha would be this. Martha, if we deviate from what the state mandate is locally, I know we have the power to do that. But if we do that and somebody gets sick at a park, let's say we open up the walking trail and somebody gets the virus and has a bad result, would we be opening ourselves up to any liability because we weren't sticking with the state?
No,
recommendation?
and plus too, you got to remember, Mike, any ability to prove where exactly you got the virus would be pretty hard. You
Right,
just easily argued it came in on a carton of milk that you got, from Instacart that week.
right.
I don't think there would be any liability for the town on that.
Okay. As long as there's no liability, then I agree the common sense thing to do is open the walking track up at least.
And if you do go that route, I think in addition to placing barriers, I think putting some signage up, reminding people of the social distancing.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, we've already made that measure. I mean, we've got the signage that, TDEC and the different agencies recommend that we'll put up, but.
Have we thought about on some of the poles along the sidewalks doing similar things?
We haven't, but I mean, that's.
No, it hasn't been discussed.
I mean, I will say people are pretty good on the sidewalks. Like when we're out, like I'm out running, like everybody, if we're both on the sidewalk, we just split to either side of the sidewalk and go right past each other. So people are pretty observant of that and very conscious of it.
It seems like. It sounds like actually in line. Glenn, what, and Jeff, when would your date? What are you thinking? Because I think we probably need to leave here with some sort of.
I would think another week at least. Just
the 27th is the Monday after next.
Well, we push it off another week. We might as well just push it off to the end of the month because that's when the governor intends to reopen things at the end of the month. I mean, that's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the month,
I think April 30th.
You can probably go hit your Zumba class up at the end of the month. So I'm not joking. So.
I just had trouble visualizing me doing Zumba.
We did too.
Yeah, it'd be ugly.
So I don't know.
Well, the fact is the public's going to be out walking on the sidewalks whether we open the park or not.
That's true.
So, I mean, if it leaves a little bit of traffic on the sidewalks, then maybe that's a good idea to go ahead and do that right away.
That's kind of where I am because the sidewalks do get quite. I mean, for the sidewalks they get crowded. I mean, nothing's crowded. If you if you want to see crowded, go to Percy Warner Park. That's crowded. The sidewalks.
Well, I just want to throw out there the walking trail is about a quarter of the size of the sidewalk. So you get 40 people back down at the park walking. What's the difference?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that the sidewalk, the walking trail at Burns Park is literally 3 feet wide. So I think you're going to have the same situation. I mean, they're going to spread out. But I know today I probably saw 100 people walking the sidewalk. So I don't know.
Continue to walk the sidewalk and you'll ease some of that by opening the walking trail.
Well, and you could take measures such as, forcing one direction only, which keeps crossing paths.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe even not just your signage, but having distances that here's what 6 feet looks like and here's what 8 feet looks like, that information. And I was double checking while you were talking a second ago to go back to your question, Mr. Hargis, the executive order 22, that's the mandatory stay at home, but it had all the essential businesses and activities that were not affected by that. It does on number 28 claim as an exempt activity is any outdoor recreation area, park, site, or trail that provides opportunities for outdoor recreation. So I think so long as we are doing what we can to make sure people do the correct social distancing and avoiding of contact with each other, we are certainly within the guidance that has been offered.
Right. That's good.
I think we're fine on the parks. I've actually personally heard from folks at the DA's office who were displeased with the closure of the park, that it wasn't a necessary thing necessarily. I mean, I think it was the right thing for us to do, but the DA's office has made it clear that that's not necessarily their opinion to me.
If I could offer, we've been, the guys have been hard at work over the last couple of days. mowing and cleaning and weeding and getting the parks ready to open, but we could still use a couple of more days of that. If I could suggest Wednesday, the 22nd, that would be almost a week from now. It would give us a couple of more days to prep the park, get it nice and clean, ready to go, put signage out, as Martha Brooks had suggested, one direction only, mark some distances, just to kind of prep it for social distancing, and then open it up on Wednesday, the 22nd.
I'm good with that.
That sounds
Sounds
good.
fair.
I would
Yeah, I'm good.
I would probably
Awesome.
also recommend not sending out a message that says it's going to be open on the 22nd and have
Okay.
everybody preparing for that. Just send out
Yeah.
a message that it is open on the 22nd.
Okay, very
Or
good.
just, I mean, you could even just open the park. Yeah.
I think, yeah, I would think we would just open it one day and not
Okay, Brandy?
do a big thing, because then you're gonna have every kid out there that I'm telling you, they're gonna come down there and hang, and that's what they do, and that's fine. But maybe we'll just open. I think, John, what did you say, till the Monday?
Wednesday.
No,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Unfortunately,
I
John has.
thing we put on Facebook. I'm sorry. I think the
Oh,
thing
no,
we put
on
out the other day
Facebook.
said there would be a.
Yeah, I'm sorry. On Facebook, I think I put, we would have a decision first of next week, something like that.
That's
Tomorrow.
correct.
It was Friday, I think you
It
Okay.
says tomorrow.
Yeah, there's some drama being created to hear what's going to happen. There's some anticipation
Oh, good.
to hear what's going to happen. So
Oh, great.
Okay. Then I guess maybe we should either tease that it's going to be a few more days, or just go ahead and say Wednesday.
Does that give you enough time, John, to get done what you need done?
Yes, sir. If we have, that'll give us tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday, and that should be enough time.
All right, well then let's do it. Let's
And then
announce
just
it.
to clarify, we're still working with Jarrett Paving. They're also working with Rio Grande, who is the company that built the gate in front of Burns. It's going to be several more weeks before we have that gate replaced. So we're having to chain off Burns Park, and so we'll have to open and close it like we have. So we'll keep those hours, because we have to manually do that, keep those hours from 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. So we don't have people coming out at 7, 8, 9 o'clock having to close the gates.
That's probably better anyway.
So
Yeah.
we will have somewhat limited hours, but nothing drastic.
excellent.
Does that work?
Sounds good.
Okay.
And so I just
All right.
want to clarify, what we're opening up in Burns Park is the walking trail, the lake, and basically disc golf. That's
it.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
And we will have everything else, I assume, fenced off. So like any surfaces where people are making contact, just fenced off, correct?
Yes. So we'll have
Yes.
So we'll have the playground and the pavilions, that kind of stuff, fenced off.
Okay. Is there a way to kind of get some of that stuff around the splash pad too? I know it's not open or running, but kids might want to still run over there on the soft pad and stuff like that and rub, touch
As
the.
long as you guys are good with us buying that much more fencing, I'll do what y'all want to do.
I mean, I feel like that we're going to need to have this stuff roped off anyway for a while. I don't think.
I would
this is
agree. I
gonna
think
be-
it's going to be a couple of months.
Yeah. So I don't think that. I mean, this is kind of the temporary new normal. So.
So we'll get some more hurricane
Right.
lifting this week then.
All right. Is there anything else under other?
No, sir.
All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Chip, are you
All right.
clapping?
All right. Well, we'll just say we're adjourned. I don't know if we do. Do you want to call the roll again, John?
Josh Etherly,
Yes.
Tony Gross,
Yes.
Mike Hargis,
Yes.
Beth Lorenz,
Yes.
Len Remick.
Yes.
He's muted.